Can everybody hear me? Okay. Good morning. Welcome. Can you hear me okay? Okay, sorry. Good morning and welcome. My name is Taryn Bruck. I'm the event planner here at the Armature Works. One of our first of many events here in the theater, actually, and we have AC, so that's good. As you all know, it's been a long time coming for this project to come about, and in 2010, Soho Capital started to take ownership of this land, and we've had a vision from the beginning. And so, with that being said, we are very excited to share with you what we have for our vision. The mayor now will have a few words of speech. Thank you.
As all of you know, I'm married to an OBGYN. This has been the longest gestation of any baby that I have ever seen. This is a very, very exciting day, I know, for Chaz and for Adam and for all of you that are here today. This is one of these projects that we have watched and we have waited and we have had our hopes up and dashed, and we are now on the verge of starting something really, really special. You know, it's funny, I think about what this project will mean to this community. And I think about all that has occurred in the interim, and to see, you know, with the amazing work that Richard Gonsmart has done at Eulalie, and I saw Richard here earlier, and to see what the kids at Waterworks Park, and to see people sitting out on Richard's back deck, having a cocktail watching the sunset over the Hillsborough River and over the North Boulevard Bridge. And to hear those conversations where, if you listen closely, inevitably what you will hear is, wow, I never knew this existed. And I think about what Chaz and Adam are about to embark on what I think is probably the most valuable piece of land in the Southeast United States. And I think about those view corridors that will stretch all the way through downtown to the convention center, to the 52-story tower that Larry Feldman is going to do on that site that shall remain nameless. I think about what's about to occur on the west side of the Hillsborough River. And I think not about what this site has been, but I think about what this community is about to become. And I think about Bubba Turner and the Turner family, who for generations owned this building as Tampa Armature. And I think about the generations of Tampanians who worked here when it was the trolley barn. But more importantly, I'm excited about what is about to occur. This is a pivotal piece of land. This is the most amazing view corridor, I think, in the urban core of Tampa. And I think about what is planned for here, and in truly a live, work, and play community, and affecting Riverside Heights and Tampa Heights and Encore, and reaching all the way to Ybor City and linking the east side of the river to the west side of the river as our urban core focuses on this amazing waterfront, which will soon become the center of everything that we do, not the western edge of downtown. And I think about the retail and the hospitality and the office and the residential that will be here. And I think about the completion of that river walk from Eulalie to the North Boulevard Bridge, and the trail on the west side of the river that will connect that waterfront from literally Bay Shore in a complete circle all the way around to the History Center. And I think about the millennials that are flocking back to Tampa, and that young talent, that intellectual capital that is coming here for projects just like this, Chess, that will populate this area. Maybe you'll have a few ex-mayors living here. I'm not going to St. Pete. I may come to Tampa Heights, though. But I think about the pride that Tampanians feel about what we've become, honoring the past of what we've been, but most importantly, recognizing that our best chapter has yet to be written. It doesn't begin here. It doesn't end here. This is one missing piece in the puzzle that we have waited so long to see dirt being moved. retaining our history in this amazing building. Some of you will remember I did my State of the City right downstairs, because I wanted to showcase this building and showcase this piece of land, because I knew if we did this right, this could be the anchor on the north side of our urban core and connect all of the dots that we've been working so hard to build. This is important, folks. This is a pivotal piece. These guys have worked hard to pull this parcel together, not without its trials and tribulations, not without its struggle, but they have persevered, and we're on the verge of the next chapter. So I don't know about you, Chaz and Adam. Let's go get her done. Because 5 years from now, when all of us look back and this project is complete, well, actually I only have 1,200 days, so let's get it done before that. And this is a bustling destination that completes that dream and fulfills the hopes and the aspirations that we as Tampanians have for our city. This is important work. We're proud of you guys. Now let's go get her done. Thanks.
How do we follow that?
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you for everybody coming. We're very excited to share our vision finally with everybody, our friends and our colleagues. I'm Chaz Brock with Soho Capital, and this is Tim Clemens, lead architect on our project. We're going to go through a PowerPoint, talk about where we're at today in our first phase of the project. Touching a lot on what the mayor just said is the location of our 43 acres. As you can see, we got downtown, Channel Side, 275. We have our own 275 down ramp and up ramp on the southern end of our project. North Boulevard Bridge connects us into Hyde Park. We also have UT just on the other side, along with 1,200 feet of riverfront. So for us, we feel this is the center of Tampa. We love our access points.
But you know, just as important as what's to the north and immediately adjacent to us, Tampa Heights, Seminole Heights, so the neighborhoods that surround it and are really going to create, this is really going to create a center for them.
Correct. This is our conceptual master plan. What we're here to talk about today is the first phase of this plan. What you see here on paper is what we have planned as 1,520 residential units and 640,000 square feet of office and retail. What you're looking at in yellow is our residential component, red is our retail plan, and over by Tampa Road is the office village. We're here to talk about 6 and 8. 6 is the armature building. As everybody can see, it's the center, it's the hub of our project. From out of the armature, you will have residential and office, everything meeting here in the armature building that we're sitting in today.
It's really going to be a mixed-use, you know, walkable district. I mean, those are almost cliche terms in today's world, but there's something it's a proven formula for creating places that have lasting value and lasting attraction for people to live and work and play.
In creating this master plan with Tim and Adam and everybody else who helped us, we studied a bunch of different projects around the country, from Portland to Atlanta to Boston to Chicago, and try to take the best of what we found and incorporate it here in what hasn't been done in Tampa yet. And as we go through this presentation, you'll continue to see some of those trends that we've taken from other places and incorporated with what we're doing here. This is our utility plan. Starting in August, we'll start our master infrastructure. This shows the new blocks being created south of Palm here. We will have 2 roundabouts as kind of the entry points of the project on Palm. One at the Boulevard Bridge and one at Highland. Highland is the down ramp of 275, so again, we wanted to create a sense of place when you're getting off 275, you've arrived, and same with Boulevard Bridge. Boulevard Bridge connects us, as everybody knows, to South Tampa. Palm Avenue gets traffic calm from 4 lanes to 2 lanes
Bike lanes.
Bike lanes. We're also creating at full build out of the master infrastructure 440 on-street parking spots.
I'd like to make one or two comments here. What was really important to us in developing the master plan is to really connect the neighborhood to the grid and the street system beyond. And it's pretty logical in terms of, you see the orthogonal grid, but we've got one special street that the diagonal street, we're calling it Market Street, which comes and creates a plaza around the Armature Works building, but it also perfectly aligns with Tampa Street in downtown Tampa. Most of you probably know the grid in downtown Tampa is rotated about 20 degrees off the true north-south. So the view corridor from that street is right down between Element and Sky Point and really right into the core of downtown. It's really going to be beautiful.
And along with completing this master infrastructure, we are also extending the Riverwalk from Waterworks Park, that's currently completed, all the way from Waterworks Park to the Tampa History Center. We take it from Waterworks Park all the way through Boulevard Bridge.
In addition to the Waterworks Park, or in addition to the riverfront, we've also scattered small series of green spaces throughout the master plan. So that doesn't really show in this drawing, but there are small parks and courtyards throughout the entire master plan.
So I want to touch briefly on our biggest amenity, and that is the river and the Riverwalk. City of Tampa Specialty Center for the Riverwalk is what you see in the pink on the map. It connects us all the way down to the History Center. Our property is the largest private property within the Specialty Center. So again, we feel like we are a bookend of the Riverwalk, with Channelside being the other bookend. We feel like we are going to be the start and stop for a lot of people entering, using, engaging the river and Riverwalk. And the Armature Works. So Armature Works is what we're sitting in today. It's a 73,000 square foot mixed-use building. What we're capturing here is our activation in the daytime. We want people to use this property 24/7. What you see here is we'll have 25 boat slips. We'll have one large public slip for the water taxi shown in this slide, e-boats, whatever it might be and whatever might come. We'll also have the water tower. Can't miss it. The water tower used to be on the western side of the property a long, long time ago. Adam and I, looking at the old historical photos, we thought, what better staple could we get than the water tower? So we found one out in Bartow a few years ago. We purchased it without knowing how hard it would be to disassemble it and move it. But we did it with the help of Adam's dad. We got it over in the port. It's broken down. It's ready to be reassembled when we're ready for it. It'll be 160 feet tall. You'll be able to see it from 275. You'll be able to see it from office buildings in downtown Tampa. It's our marker. Underneath the water tower will be a pavilion housing a kiosk of a waterfront bar, again, engaging people, getting people to come down to the river. There will also be a rental shop where you can rent kayaks, paddle boards, bikes, skateboards, again, anything to activate the river and or river walk.
But also in front of the, between the river and the Armature Works building, and you can see it right out these windows, is going to be a large 3-acre plaza for events, both large and small, informal, and larger, more organized events.
Again, trying to activate the daytime. We want to have markets out there, weddings, concerts. We've already done a few of those here over the years. Just anything activating the daytime.
The last comment about the water towers, it's the most clever way around the sign ordinance that I've ever seen.
Transitioning from daytime is nighttime. So again, we're trying to create a mixed-use building where people will come and use it during the day and transition into nighttime, whether that be dinner, meeting friends for drinks within some of the bars, using the market hall for food or a gathering spot. We're creating an outdoor, indoor scene here as well.
Go ahead.
So this is the OLA side, what you guys all came in on today. It's also the entrance to the market hall, which is in the center of the building. We're standing here today in the theater upstairs.
Next time you come for an event, there'll be an elevator to bring you out.
There'll be an elevator corridor that comes through this room, but I want to talk a little bit about how we preserve the building. And you know, that was very important to Adam and I when we were going through this process. We spent a lot of time on the details, and that's repointing the brick. If you look out today, all the original windows and doors have been restored on site. They all work. We re-glazed them on site. After this, when you go downstairs in the main bay, we found a company out of New York where we restored their original skylights to what they used to be in the early 1900s.
Even the gutters and downspouts were recreations of the original style and materials.
We really wanted to, again, like the room you're sitting in today, keep the natural essence of the building and preserve it.
Well, and you know, in terms of historic preservation too, and when we do make interventions like the elevators or like some canopies, we do it in a way that our goal is to always be sympathetic and compatible, but let you know that it's not original to the building. This is something new that we've done, and there's, you know, established standards. We went through the city's ARC process, the Architectural Review Commission, and we're just really proud of, we think, what the, you know, refurbishing this building and bringing it back to life.
The building's going to have a bunch of mix of uses. A big component of it is restaurants and the market hall. The Heights Market Hall is a concept that Adam and I it's kind of our passion project. Again, we study a lot of different projects around the country, and everywhere we went, we started seeing market halls. So we wanted to figure out a way to incorporate that into our mixed-use project, and we felt this building, this particular location, it was a chance where it could truly survive here in Tampa. We studied projects such as the Source in Denver, Krog and Ponce in Atlanta. We took a lot of elements from those and incorporated into our market hall. The market hall is what you see here in green. It's 22,000 square feet. It has 16 independent vendors. And what you'll see later when we do a tour of the building, a lot of the uses on the first floor all focus around the courtyard. So we wanted the courtyard, again, to be the sense of place in the building, and it ties a lot of the mix of uses together very, very well. This is a view of what the market hall will look like with the 16 kiosks. We've been very conscious about the vendors that we're putting in here. We don't want any vendors that overlap. All of our vendors are local restaurateurs from around Tampa that you would all know. We have Commune Coffee that I think some of you got their coffee. Again, for some of our vendors, they have existing retail locations, some do not. So for them, this is a great way to enter into a market and have their first retail location and reach a broad audience. Ichikoro's in here, I think Noel's sitting back there, and Kim from Chocolate Pie is going to be our baker. We'll have a boutique butcher in there as well. We have a florist, Taylor Twig. We're still looking for a few more vendor spots to fill. We have about half of the spots filled right now. Some of the design elements that we were trying to incorporate in here as well was the 1010 Niles crane will be centered over the original, or the entrance of the market hall. When you walk through the entrance of the market hall, you look directly into the courtyard, which creates a lot of natural light. You can see in here the skylights and all the natural light that creates. Would you like to add anything?
No, I think you know, we're really leaving this space. This is the main service bay of the market, so it's 42 feet wide. It's like over 30 feet at the peak of the roof. It's a really beautiful space, skylit space, and we're really leaving kind of a lot of the guts exposed, so you can really get a sense of what kind of work took place in this space.
Underneath us, the space that you walked in, will be a restaurant by B1 Concepts. They're a local restaurant operator. We're going to call it Steelbach. There'll be more about this restaurant to come. They're also operating the butcher inside the market hall. When we studied a lot of the other market hall concepts around the country, one of the things that we found neat was a lot of them were anchored by restaurants, and those restaurants participated as well in the market hall. So again, it just goes back to the culture we're trying to create here within the building of everything being one. And our courtyard. Again, the courtyard's the center of the project. It ties a bunch of mix of uses together. We see it being used for a multiple array of events, from concerts to lectures to wedding ceremonies to, as it's depicted here, it's just a cocktail party. On the northern side here is the event hall, and here on the eastern side is where it ties into the market hall. We designed the doors going into the courtyard where they, as you can see, they all open, so the spaces can all act as one. They can seal off. Again, multiple uses within the space. The second largest component of the armature building outside the market hall is our event spaces. We wanted to create one of Tampa's premier and largest private event spaces. In the center of the building is a 10,000 square foot event hall. It has its own 3,500 square foot pre-function space. That's on the western side of the building. It has its own catering kitchen, a bride and groom room. We're trying to be, recognize that we most likely have a lot of weddings. Again, it ties into the courtyard. Where we're sitting today on the second floor is 3,000 square foot theater. This is a rendering of what the gathering, that's our main event hall, will look like. This picture here shows it as a reception for 800 people seated. In the far southern side of the building, you'll see the courtyard. The building will have, or this space will have 35-foot high ceilings, so about 12 feet higher than what we're sitting in today. So it'll be pretty dramatic when you walk in there.
The west end of the building had a lot of structural deterioration in the roof, and based on that condition plus the programmatic needs that we established for the project, this is where we're doing the biggest changes to the building. So we're basically adding a new steel, inserting a new steel building into the western portion of the building, and that's why the ceilings are going to be so high in this area.
And that's what you see out front in the yard is our steel building getting delivered.
All the steel is here and will soon be installed.
Another thing we're doing with this space and some other spaces within inside the building is the ceiling that we did take down, and you'll see when you go downstairs in the market hall after this, we've milled it all and we're reusing it as the floor inside the event space and other spaces throughout the building, along with other components of the natural material that was here. We're trying to reuse as much as we can. This is the theater that you're sitting in today. It's just shy of 3,000 square feet. It'll have 2 bathrooms, its own private elevator to get up here as well, a small holding kitchen. Comfortably seated, it'll be 200 people in rounds. Seated here today is 180 people. So again, we see this space being used for lectures like we're doing now. It could be used for small concerts, weddings. The way it's set up right now is an educational lecture for a corporate office. Our 2 event halls will not be able to be subdivided. So we wanted to create multiple scenes where people could use the other spaces still here in the building and use it. On the second floor addition that we're doing on the western side of the building, we're going to create 10,000 square feet of co-work share space. Again, that's going back to us wanting to populate the building during the daytime and get those people working here and then using the market hall, using the restaurants, using the lawn, hopefully doing some events here. And again, just engaging the community. We'll have private offices, we'll have open collaborative space and conference rooms. We expect 500 members to be part of it. Anything to add to that? No. Again, we wanted the space to be comfortable. We want people to use it during the daytime. There's a few concepts around the country we looked at when we were putting this together. One is the Grind out of New York. Another one is the WeWork concepts that are worldwide right now. So along with getting people to come work here, entertain here, eat here, we need people living here. So our first apartment complex is called The Pearl. It's north of Palm. It starts construction later this summer. The GC on the project is Batson Cook and EWI. Clemens is the architect with Mesh Architecture. Again, when we were looking at a bunch of different projects, one of our case studies was the Pearl District in Portland. That's how we came up with the name.
We actually flew out, before we started the master plan, or when we had just begun the master plan, we actually flew out and spent about 4 days in Portland. It's one of the field trips that we've taken. Nice perk for getting to work on this project. But, and just what they had done on the north end of downtown Portland, with the Pearl District being a fallow industrial district that had been sort of repurposed and brought back into the life of the city for the 21st century, we thought was a really applicable case study for us.
The Pearl will be 314 units, ranging from 500 square feet to 1,200 square feet. What you're looking at here is the northern side of the project on Ross, which is the street that faces the existing single-family homes. We wanted to create a relaxed feel. We didn't want to be obtrusive against the existing single-family. We added design elements such as the front stoops on the ground level units, all facing the existing single-family. We also did a 4-story product here where on Palm, the building scales up to a 7-story product.
So although these are 4-story apartment, this 4-story building has apartments on each level, it's designed to really sort of get a more townhouse kind of look we felt was appropriate for the, as a neighbor to the single-family homes across the street.
We want to create a unique unit mix in here where it's not just targeted to young professionals. There'll be some 3-bedrooms. We feel like families can live here. Again, Waterworks Park, Julian B. Lane Park, the Riverwalk, the Armature. It's going to be a great feel for not just young professionals looking to seek an apartment, but also families looking to start a family and grow into single-family homes down the road. This is the corner of Ola and Palm, looking back at the Pearl. This is the 7-story side. There's that entrance off of Ola is the entrance into the garage. Again, along with the 440 on-street parking spots, every component of this project is designed to be self-contained with parking. So every future development we do will accommodate its own parking. We are developing 28,500 square feet of retail along Palm. We see Palm as a retail corridor that then turns down to Market Street and leads into the river. When we first started the Pearl project, we only designed 12,000 square feet of retail. The demand was immense, and we quickly said we need to add more retail.
Even after we had finished the construction documents, we had to change the design one more time.
So, and we're very excited about the retail. We have, we see it being a lot of local neighborhood services. Again, from us all the way back to MLK, there's a dense residential community, and they don't have much retail neighborhood services. We're pleasantly surprised and excited. We already have 2 leases signed before we even came out of the ground with it. One is Studio Cambello, which is on Davis Island, a hair salon, and another one is Dr. Darren Desidue, I think's here, with Fast Track. So Fast Track is a medical clinic. Again, supporting neighborhood services and engaging the community and trying to bring in retailers that are currently not in the neighborhood. And that's our goal with the Pearl retail.
You know, a couple other things I think worth highlighting on this is we're really committed to, Chaz and Adam are really committed to doing high quality construction. So this is a completely precast concrete building. It's geothermal air conditioning system. So, high quality aluminum windows. So it's really a building that's built to last, and we think, shows their commitment to the character and quality that they want the entire project to represent for the new construction.
Yeah, we're building this to, again, we're not merchant building this. This is our first residential building, so we're taking a lot of pride in it. We're going to own it long term, and we're excited to get it started. It should be here shortly. We're hoping to have people living in here September of 2017.
And one thing, the couple of renderings that we've shown you don't really illustrate is it's a big project, but it's organized, it's broken down into pieces. There's 4 buildings that move around the block. They have different scales, as we talked about, to respond to the different conditions. And they also create a 1-acre park and courtyard in the middle of the project. So we tried to be, recognize that in good urbanism, there is a variety of scales, a variety of uses, and that you need to be very careful about that calibration of those things.
And winding down the presentation, these are the logos for the Armature Works and for the Heights. We wanted to be brand specific and simple when creating these. We didn't want to overthink it, but again, establish the culture we're trying to create here in this 43-acre community. Today, the Armature Works website goes live, so you guys can all go on there and get more information about what is going on here in the Armature Works, sign up for newsletters, and updates about upcoming projects and openings. And that's the presentation on our first phase of the Heights. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Christine Burdick, and I am the president of the Tampa Downtown Partnership. And among the many things I'm here for today, I'm welcoming the Armature Works and the whole project of Soho Capital to downtown. Kind of mimicking what the mayor said, if it's true that all good things are worth waiting for, this is really going to be great. Soho Capital has been a patient and thorough shepherd of this project all along the way, maximizing the opportunity for development here. It will provide whole new vistas and new experiences for all the people who know downtown Tampa, and also new people who come to discover the wonders that we have. People who will celebrate here and be entertained. They'll experience whole new vistas, new flavors. It's exciting to be connected to downtown, and it's going to be one of downtown's most unique new features, and you came to us, we didn't have to come to you. The Market Hall is one specific thing that is so unique and welcoming to, I think, our whole city. I'm a member of the Urban Land Institute. We have a number of members here, as Soho Capital is. I attended the San Francisco annual meeting last fall and attended a session about the opportunity that food and markets provided for development. And they handed out a very nice Urban Land Institute, their magazine outtake, and lo and behold, in the middle of the magazine is a picture of the Armature Works with the water tower. And I learned a lot more about this new and proposed project last fall from the Urban Land Institute meeting. So I can't tell you how thorough and how good these people are for downtown and for this development. And I'm so appreciative of your patience, and we're going to be supporting you every single step of the way. Thanks.
Thanks for your kind words, Christine, and Mayor Buckhorn, thanks for coming. Everybody, I guess my task here is easy, just to thank you for coming. I'm going to digress for a second and expound on, my dad is here. He's 90, kind of one of the last of the the greatest generation. But, you know, the water tower store, we acquired the water tower, and I called him. My dad has worked for the Army Corps previously and has a degree in naval architecture and marine engineering. And I said, how are we going to move this tower we bought? So he knew where the tower was in Bartow, drove out there, said he'd take a look at it. 2 days later, I had 3 pages of scantling drawings with a demolition plan and an exact cutting plan of very specific instructions not to cut near the rivets. A couple days later, I had bids where to take it and get it sandblasted. So thanks, Dad. I appreciate it. Anyway, we'd like to thank you all for coming and allowing us to share our vision. I want to touch a little bit on the team. You know, obviously it's time for everybody to start seeing some tangible results. We've got a lot of effort in this, and we're looking forward to that as well. From the beginning, we've known that the Heights was bigger than us, that, you know, not about Chaz and Adam. We sought to enlist the best local talent that we could, mesh architecture, landmark engineering, REPA construction, Bowen and John with DDA, who are the managing partners for the Pearl Apartments and are really a key part of what we're doing here. Doug Badia, who's here, along with his Pure Properties Group team, who has already made some inroads on the leasing of the Pearl prior to it breaking ground. The Pearl will be constructed by a joint venture of Batson Cook and EWI Construction. You know, Batson Cook, while they are based out of Atlanta, has had a 2-decade-long, exceptionally strong presence in the market. And when we met them, we knew they were the right fit for the first large vertical project here. Jim Garvey and Ryan Reynolds are getting engaged with the office leasing, and Albert Alfonso is currently working in the background on that first office building. You know, this whole place that we're trying to create, and we felt like this from the very beginning, requires that we spend our money locally. So we have to put our money where our mouth is. We say we want to create a local place. The first thing to do is spend our money on local professionals. So we really, you know, a little bit about our process. We really enjoyed the interactions in creating the market. We reached out to local entrepreneurs. We learned a lot from this, but we said, we want to create a market. We've seen a few that we like. We think they'd be beneficial here. Do you have you know, what are your thoughts on our plans? And do you have a passion, an unrealized passion project that you could bring here? And the response that we got, the things that we learned, I think were critical to the outcome of the plans that we have. And, you know, I pointed out because I think that's the same process that we're going to bring to the rest of the project. You know, that's our philosophy. You know, when I saw Joel's Facebook post that he was looking for somebody to review his lease, and then Veronica from the Independence Response volunteering to do it, I think that it's indicative of us realizing the neighborhood that we're moving into, that it's here, that's established, and we just want to move in and be good neighbors and fit in. So that's our goal. Our next heavy lifting is to issue $8 million in bond anticipation notes. The CDD has voted to do that, and our group will take those back. This is critical that we, you know, required to fund the public infrastructure, which, as Chaz said, will start in August. But also, I think our ability to take those back in the interim and then put them out later when there's some debt service coverage from the phase 1 improvements will allow us to be fiscally prudent and extend the purchasing power of that tax increment. We have many projects in many localities, and I must say that the city of Tampa, the staff and the administration are really probably the most professional, you know, detail-oriented and task-oriented, and working with them on this project has been great, and we thank you. I think that's a clear product of your leadership, and as well B2, Bob McDonough, I understand, and Bob's not here today, but we thank him. Again, our goal is to create a unique, transformative place that dovetails with the existing neighborhood and a place that lasts. We hope to see you all again soon at our grand opening. We're going to have some dusty shoe tours of the building if any of you would like to hang out. And thanks again for your time.